What man called love and what Christ calls love are two different things. We, man, we say that we love people, we love one another until someone steps on our toes. We can even go as far as some with their children, with their offspring. As soon as that young man starts experiencing trouble with society and he overstays his welcome, so to speak, in the place where you buy food and fill the refrigerator, in the place where you keep the lights on, in the place where you keep tidy up, where you find your peace. As soon as that young man that you've cared for since childhood is having a little bit of trouble finding its way in this crazy world, you can't wait to get rid of him or her. This is something that I've seen myself. As I understand that every person, everyone should be responsible for themselves and make their way. I also have that empathetic side of me that I can't help, where yes, I do encourage, and I would get upset, and I have gotten upset when I see the inconsistencies and the underappreciation for the efforts. But that doesn't mean that I will completely disregard my child, my offspring, because I see them struggling with that part of self-sustainability. Because we're not living in the boomer days. And I understand things that they don't understand. And I understand things that a lot of parents don't understand. And that is that we're not living in the days of you can make a living with one paycheck and the mom can stay home and watch the kids grow, and and you could go to college and get a small degree, but spend the rest of your life working in a factory and make ends meet. I saw it happen. Close friends of mine when I was growing up in the 90s, were doing that and survived doing that. Someone that I know that had elderly parents that made their fortune, made their living from a one paycheck, from working in a factory, of a very well studied man. And somehow there he is, my buddy, with the inheritance of a completely paid house, that if I were to tell you what houses were worth in those days in comparison to what they're worth now, you would be like, what? There's realities, right? But back to the point is, aside from inflation and all of that, it's the fact that as soon as someone steps on our toes, one way, shape, or form, your offspring may not be your weak point. It might be something else. As soon as someone steps on your toes, your natural reaction is to jump. In an aggressive stance to protect what you hold valuable on a carnal level. Christ basically willingly gave all his pride was stripped from him. All his dignity was stripped from him. That's a better word, dignity. And when you go into a little more into depth of how he was treated all the way upon death. He was ridiculed. He was lied upon. He gave all of that up for the sake of bringing us the good news, of bringing us the truth. See, he is our blueprint. He tells his disciples, if they did this unto me, they will do it unto you. For no servant is greater than his master. Right? He came as the ambassador of the Creator in order to show us the way back to our Creator. He showed us, hey, I am the way, the truth, and the life. This is the way. What I show you, what I display for you, is the way back to your Creator. If they do this to me, they will do it to you. But nothing is of more importance that you fight your own flesh, that you deny self, that you love your enemies in every way, shape, or form that he displays it, that he models it. I don't know what to tell you. Christ is the only way to the Father. And Christ gave his life. No one took it from him, as he tells Pilate. He tells Pilate, no one takes my life from me. I lay it down. You have no power over me than that the Father, that you have received from above. I lay my life down for the sake of this message. Basically, it's what Yeshua told Pilate in that proceeding of judgment. So, what comes natural to us, as unnatural as it may seem, in a moment of squeeze, in a moment of pressure, something I saw Dwayne Meyer, I saw something that Dwayne Meyer, if you don't know who that is, he used to come on the Channel 17, channel PBS Kids, or PBS, I think it was a sponsored channel back in the days, doing my childhood version of TED Talks, I guess, things that actually matter. And he holds an orange, and he says, if you were to squeeze this orange, he said, he asked a man, what would come out of this orange if I were to squeeze it? Would cranberry juice come out of the orange? Would whatever other juice? And no, the answer is orange juice. Orange juice is what's in the orange, because that's what oranges are made out of. They're made out of orange. Orange, or an orange is an orange. It's not an apple. Fruit is an orange fruit, right? So when you are pressured, when you are squeezed, when the pressure is applied to you, to your nature, the only thing that can come out of you is the natural thing. So that's when you know what comes out of you, when you are pressured, when you are under pressure, when everything that you have is being threatened, and everything that you hold dear, everything that you hold to be of importance is being threatened. What comes out of you is what you are. It's who you are. Christ tells us to love our enemies, because the number one deterrent for salvation is what's inside of us. Our enemy is our own sinful nature. Our own sinful nature is our enemy, our deterrent to salvation, to our own point of realization of the Christ Spirit. The Antichrist lives within us. And also an obvious hint of this is when Christ says, bring heaven to earth, on earth as it is in heaven. We have to bring within us to seek the kingdom of heaven is within you. In order for us to seek our way back to the Father, we must look inside and bind the strong man. If we would just listen, to Christ. And I would encourage you to go and check out the book of Thomas, the Gospel of Thomas. But the Gospel of Thomas is saying the same thing that Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, is saying in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So if you don't understand Christ, you're not going to, Thomas does say, Thomas is a slight more in the book of Thomas. I guess King James couldn't, or somehow misconstrued or rewrite to his favor the book of Thomas. But when you find the book of Thomas, it's just slightly more emphasizing. Its emphasis a bit stronger on exactly what it is that Jesus was saying. He says exactly what Christ is saying, and then he utilizes Go ahead. And then he utilizes I should probably pull over, make these videos. He utilizes a bit more of wording to reinforce what he's talking about. I'm tired, guys. I am tired. On more ways that I could explain and that many would understand, but some would. But anyways, if we want to know who the Father is, we have to know who the Son is. And the Son tells us who he is with his actions and his blueprint. There's nothing more important. If anything that you do in seeking your Creator leads you away from the Son, then you're falling right back into the legalistic footsteps of the Pharisees. If you can't find it to break through all the indoctrinations, all of the bindings, all of the strongholds from childhood, everything that you have been taught from childhood, from your little church school, that your grandmother and your grandparents and your parents dragged you to, and everything that society has taught you as righteous, as right and wrong. If you can't break through that and just listen to what Christ is saying, and then ask through the Spirit of the Father, ask in complete humility, in complete submission of self, ask in spirit and truth. To those that ask, asking you shall receive, knocking it shall be open. If you don't find it in you to truly seek out the truth, without your own wishful thinking of hoping that the truth is what you wanted the truth to be. Because everything I'm telling you is not something that is favoring me in any way, shape, or form other than spiritually. Because I have to seek my heels in deep every time I come out here and speak. Because I'm not making a dime. Nothing that I say here on this platform benefits me in the physical form. Nothing. Because I wait upon the Father for all of my provision. I'm not making a dime out of the sacrifice of my Messiah. Nothing I say here. I try to make everything that I speak align with the sacrifice of Christ. Because I have learned, and the Spirit of the Father has taught me, that to follow Christ means to follow Christ unto death. Death of self. I sacrifice self. And then in the process of me sacrificing self, the enemy within you, within anyone, wants to sacrifice me too, for the sake of the life of their flesh. Because what Christ said went against what our hearts want. What Christ speaks against self. He told the Pharisee, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it. He's talking about everything that we hold as truth. Selfishly. He's talking about us denying self. Denying the flesh. That's why I say we are. That's why I continue to tell you guys, we are our own enemies. Because we do not want to serve Christ's purpose. We do not want to serve the Father through the blueprint of Christ. We don't want to do that. Something that, I forget the guy's name. I have one of his clips on, many of his clips on my Instagram page. And I forget the guy, someone important in a famous battle. I'm having a foggy, cloudy brain right now. But he says the guy was like a general or something, leading an army. He goes, let us pray that God is with us in this endeavor, in this battle. And the other dude said, no, it's not that we want God to be on our side. We are flawed. We don't want God to be on our side. We need to be on God's side. God, there's no way that the Father could be on our side unless we are on His side. You understand? Because if the Father is on our side, then the Father is flawed. But if we are on the Father's side, we're on the side of righteousness. But in order for us to be on the Father's side, we need to know who the Father is. And we'll never know who the Father is unless we follow the only one that leads us to the Father. And that is the Christ Spirit, the Anointed One, they call them. Anointed for what? Anointed means empowered. And so many other words. He was the empowered one. The only one that could. And the only one that could did. And now it's on us. The ball's in our court. The work is to follow Christ. That's no easy task. And the farther we go in existence, the more difficult it becomes. That's the work. You may call others weak because they don't do the things that you do. But the weak one is you, because you seek out the obvious, natural, terrestrial thing, while the chosen ones seek the things of the Spirit that go against all nature of mankind in a sinful, carnal matter. While you try to enrich yourself with generational wealth, I'm trying to enrich myself in spirit and truth. Because not me nor my family will take any of this crap with us. From the dust we come, and to the dust we return in physical form. Thank the Father that we are created in His image and not in the image of a piece of dirt. Thank the Father that we're created in the image of the most omnipotent, the most powerful, omnipresent being. We are created in the image of the most wonderful, most amazing being that has ever existed. Christ didn't come for you to have a successful business. There's nothing wrong with that. Christ didn't come for you to be, he didn't come to establish his carpentry business. He was known to be a carpenter because his terrestrial dad was a carpenter. There's so much about the birth of Mary that we still don't understand. He didn't come to establish, he didn't recruit the 12 to start a carpentry business. He didn't go and pass he didn't go and pass the bucket at the end of every speech or every parable that he spoke to the multitudes. No, you know what he did? He passed the plate full of his riches. He, from his riches, he leveled down to feed our flesh. He fed the 3,000, the 5,000. Naturally and spiritually first, and then naturally. He gave, and then he gave. And then he gave. He spoke. He did. He fed, and he died. Then he died and he resurrected to show you something. That his ways, that the Father's ways are bigger than our ways. He lived, he came. He lived, he taught. He was the example. He died and he resurrected. Then he ascended. Just to show us that it could be done a different way. He was killed. None of this was a surprise to the Father. And since he was the Son, the begotten Son of the Father, he knew what was to come. He willingly did it anyways. Because nothing is of more importance than for us to learn how to die to self. History upon history has shown us that our way doesn't work. All we do is destroy each other. The devil's going to the lake of fire with a smile on his face until he's not laughing anymore. Because so many of us have given the enemy, our adversary, the legal right to torment us, to hurt us, to mislead us. Because our hearts is full of greed. I'm tired, guys. I'm tired. I asked the Father to give me more time to make videos like this. And he did. It didn't come in the form that I thought it would. But it came. He granted me. He granted me the ability to, whenever I receive word that he wants me to speak, I have no excuse, nothing to hinder me other than myself. Another great lesson I have learned, and I continue to learn. Now I have all the time. I have no excuse. I'm my own hindrance. Because the times that I don't come here to speak words like these, it's because I'm battling myself. That those that have ears, as long as we continue to seek out our own life, we will lose our life. But those that lose their life for his sake will find it. If we don't seek first his kingdom kingdom of heaven is within you. The kingdom of heaven is within you. The kingdom of heaven is within you. If we don't seek first the Father's kingdom, all of this, I'm tired, guys. But the Father's my strength. Those that wait upon the Father will renew their strengths. They shall mount up with wings of eagles, as wings of eagles. You know the thing. I Joe Biden this thing left and right. But the message is pure. Bless you guys.